If I'm honest, one of the reasons I sold to Adobe is because they were so aggressive about competing in the space. And I'm like, the Adobe brand, I'm in digital
Supposed to
documents.
give you $100 million, to be honest.
Yeah,
Let's
but some of it was a bear hug with a lot of threats. And if you don't sell, we're going to buy your competitor.
Really?
And when you hear that, and that's just part of M&A and corporate development, you can't take this stuff too seriously, even if it's true. And I'm sure it was true. But you're like, oh my God, I mean, these guys have an $800 million franchise, and they have every customer, and they have the brand, and yeah, I have a lot of customers, but people are going to trust their brand.
How does a big company communicate that to a little startup without pissing off the founder? Because for some founders, listen, they're, by definition, a founder is going to be a rabble-rouser, rebel, fighter.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you tell a fighter, hey, listen, sell or we're going to kick your ass.
Yes.
That's like poking a tiger. I mean, they just instinctually might swing at you.
My own experience, but then when I've talked to other founders, it's usually the same shtick. And what it is you get approached, and they say, well, Jason, we're thinking about doing a build, buy, or partner decision. Build, buy, or partner. And that way, no one wants to make an offer and have it slapped away. There's a lot of not just ego issues in big companies, but there's structural issues. A VP or an SVP doesn't want to put a deal on the line and then not close the deal.
Right, egg on the face.
Yeah, so they're going to tell you build, buy, or partner, even if the only thing they're looking for is buy, right?
So they'll
tease it out. We're looking at build, buy, or partner. What would you like to partner with us? But in all disclosure, we might build it ourselves, but we haven't started yet, or we might even buy something in the space. And they'll look and see if you lean forward or what the body language is, and they'll know, right?
It's a little bit of a poker game.
A little bit of a poker game. And everyone starts with a build, buy, or partner. That's just like, I think that's in Corporate Development 101 in the book that you can buy on Amazon somewhere. Build, buy. And so it always starts there. And then usually the threat comes along when there's interest in the buy, but not fall over out of the table interest, right? Or people, they get, I don't really need to do this. And because deals
Wait, who doesn't need to do it?
The target, the startup, right? It all starts up nice.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you realize when you get into it that maybe, I don't know, like I don't need to do this.
Yeah, we have money in the bank.
We have money in the bank. We're doing 10 million, 20 million. We're profitable. And so then then the kind of the threat side comes out in almost every deal.
How do they communicate the threat?
Well, they're honest, and they'll say, when they see you waffling, they'll say, listen, if you don't want to do this, it's okay. We understand.
Oh, so that's nice.
Yeah, you're nice.
It's
but
totally
just
cool.
to let you know, we'll buy the next guy on the list. And there's truth to that. That's not a threat. That's not a threat.
It's reality.
It's reality, right?
Yes.
And even if it's not reality, it's close enough to reality, and it may become reality. When a company decides they want to enter a space, right, they really enter it and they want to buy. They want to accelerate time, and they want to accelerate traction, right? Yeah. So they either do one of two things. Either they'll buy any vendor, but they want to buy the best one that matches their needs, or there's really only one that they want. And you have to understand, and sometimes there really is only one solution, but other times you'll turn around, and if they believe they can push a product through their channel, then they'll do number 2, number 3, or number 4, even if maybe they shouldn't, because they believe their wonderful sales team or their brand or whatever can push it through the channel. So you have to know. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
And if you look at a lot of M&A and you're like, well, why did Salesforce or Google or Facebook buy this company sometimes? Sometimes it was really the second choice, right? You didn't really see what happened for the first time.
Fascinating.
Right? And where it's more common, and what I learned is there's 2 types of M&A. There's CEO level M&A and SVP level M&A.
Oh, explain.
When I'm Mark Zuckerberg and I want to win, I'm going to give 10% of my company to own WhatsApp. Leave me alone. I don't want your opinion. I don't care what the board says.
Yeah, he did that.
10%.
He didn't even go to the board. He's like, I have super shares.
Didn't care. Or for Instagram. You know why? Because I know this is the winner, and I know if I give 10% of my shares to WhatsApp, my shares will be worth more than 10%. It's accretive. It's a no-brainer for a founder.
I get everything above the 10%.
The board thought this was insane. 20-something billion by the time the deal closed as a founder. So CEOs almost always know the exact target they want. It may be maybe Oculus was the wrong choice, but it was clear that's the one he wanted. Yeah. Right? Unproven, not launched, 22-year-old founder, but this is the one I want. SVP-driven deals are less about the 5- and 10-year future of the company, which is what CEO does, and it's more about making my plan. It's more about making my plan. I'm behind on webification. I'm behind on this initiative. And so an SVP needs to close a deal this year because I'm going to miss the plan.
He wants to hit the targets.
Hits the target.
Yeah.
Right? And they have a budget.
And they have a budget in a way.
It's self-preservation. SVP, VP level deals, it looks like it's it's positive, but it's really generally to fill a hole, a gap that's missing, right?
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It drives a lot of 9 and 8 figure M&A is filling a hole, and you have a budget and you have a chip. But when a VP level deal happens, they have their number one target in a space, and this is the one they want. And sometimes it's not rational, the reason they pick it. It may be because they're the ones that are in TechCrunch. It may be because the one that's prettier. But this is the vendor I want. But if they don't get number one, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go to number 2, and then they're going to go to number 3. They got to get a deal done.
Yeah.